So this episode of My Isekai Life was all focused around Yuji trying out a party for the first time. And of course, like in any good fashion, he lands himself inside of a party that has basically I don't know if I call them poachers, I mean slave traders maybe, but essentially he lands himself in a party that one of the dudes there reports to the bandit that is the most sought after or the most criminally renowned bandits in the land, or in the town that he's in. This bandit is like the top. He's like the top tier of the quest board essentially. And even I didn't really notice that until like the end of the episode, where the two party members, the two girls, the archer and the magic user or whatever, they pointed out to him. They're like, hey, you know, this bandit that you caught, he's like the bandit. Did you know? He's like, oh no. And then they showed us the wanted poster. I was like, oh yeah, I did see that on the quest board. So I thought that was pretty cool. But essentially, he lands himself in a party of three members. One shady looking guy, and then two really cute girls. One's an archer, one's like a mage, magic user, whatever. And he lands himself in that party, and they go and take on a quest for a earth dragon. Well, that essentially is all a bunch of shenanigans, and the Rindo guy or whatever, the shady looking dude in the party, essentially he works with that bandit, and what they do is they join parties, they go on quests, and then the people in those parties, they have been disappearing, and they've been blaming it on monster appearances, but essentially they're slave traders. They grab these adventurers, and then they go and they sell them off to whoever they sell them off to. And they were going to do that with this specific party here. They were going to sell off the two girls, and then they were just going to leave Yuji because he thought Yuji was pretty insignificant. He was like, yo, he'll die out here by himself. So they were going to do this two girls. Well, Yuji, obviously, he has slimes everywhere. He has eyeballs everywhere. So he saw that. He heard him. He goes and he saves the girls and he attacks them. He chooses a very low-powered move in his moveset called it's like medium ice attack or whatever. He chooses it. He completely obliterates the whole entire bandit camp. He freezes them. Slimes swallow up the main bandit guy, and the girls are in awe. He says he deems them trustworthy. He sets up a camp, and then their adventure will continue. But I am really loving My Isekai Life so far. Like, again, if you watch my episode 1 review, on the scale of goodness, right, on the scale of like objectively good, objectively bad, is probably an objectively bad anime. It's pretty mid-tier anime, but my enjoyment so far has been really high. I like the OP quite a bit. I like Yuji's character quite a bit. I like the very crappy animation that shows his backstory. I like the different characters that they have introduced so far, and I like the premise of it. He's a monster tamer, and because of his high level now, he is able to communicate with the monsters that he tames, and they're each individual personalities. Like, they have their own unique traits and personalities, and I love that quite a bit. And he's able to use magic and use his monsters as like vessels to do magic. And there is definitely like a give and take relationship there with his monsters and then with Yuji himself. So I really like that quite a bit. I also really love this episode, seeing more of his backstory, and I love how they're just like Yuji is monster tame, adventure, a little bit of backstory sprinkled, a little bit of backstory sprinkled, a little bit of backstory sprinkled. I love that quite a bit because I hate when, like, at this point in Isekai, like, we don't really need to see this huge backstory of how he, like, you know, starts day one and then, you know, raises it up, and then in episode 8 we finally get him going on his like baby's first mission. Like, I like how it's like we just start, like Skeleton Knight did this good last season as well, that we just start. And I love that. So, but his backstory is really like this. He was an office worker, and he was worked to the bone. He was really dependent on. He was whatever he did, office-wise, coder or whatever the hell his job was. He did it really, really well. He was dependent on. And one day he's sleeping at his desk, and he wakes up in this alternate world. We can assume homeboy died. He either died or was teleported. When he wakes up, he's like, I was just in the office. What the hell happened? He has a slime like on him. He touches the slime, and an indicator on his screen that pops up is like, you're a tamer. You just tamed this monster. He follows the slime. The slime leads him into this house of a bunch of books. Like this house was like been abandoned for what seems decades, but it has a lot of different books. And he opens up a book called like the Calamity of Destruction, or the Destruction of Calamity or something. He reads it and he gets all the skills and everything that was inside of that book, HP and MP. Then all the slimes come out of everywhere. So we assume that these slimes were also the slimes of maybe a past wielder or something. Maybe we'll learn about that later. But all these slimes come out, and he was like, oh, do you guys want to be tamed as well? And they all start jumping for joy. And because they basically entered a contract with them, he gets like tamer slime. He gets these, like, everything on his screen just going crazy. Then they begin getting all the books off the shelves, and they each individually begin to like read it, and he instantly gets all the skills. And he basically goes from baby to sage. He goes from like nobody, like, you know, level like HP 70 to like monster sage, because they read all the books there. Then he can communicate with them, and then that's really all the backstory that we've gotten so far. But I love the little drip feed of backstory so far. I think it's really cool. And I like how it keeps calling back to like little events that happen in his real life, of like him not wanting to trust people so much, or him not wanting to reveal too much of himself, because he wants people to depend on him the way he was dependent on his past life, which led to his inevitable teleportation or death, essentially. So I'm really loving this anime so far. I think it's cute. I think it's really dope. I love the premise of it. I think it's unique. I love slime anime. I haven't seen a slime anime I don't like yet. And this one seems to be another one that I really think is going to be like a hidden gem this season, that I think you're not going to... I think there's so much noise this season, right? You know, of a lot of anime, you know, and I think that because of that, this one is going to go under people's radar. And when somebody gives us a shot, I think they're going to be happily surprised, because I had medium expectations and it exceeded those. So let me know what you guys think about this anime down in the comments down below. I appreciate you guys being here. I'll see you guys next Monday for episode number 3. And I appreciate you guys being here. All right, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Check out the videos on screen now, including episode number 1 and the top 10 anime I'm going to watch this season. And I'll see you next week. Peace.